หน้า20แต่ไทยหน้า20เนาะเราจะสวดให้จบไปทีละข้อนะแล้วก็แปลทีเดียวเลยเพราะฉะนั้นเป็นภาษาไทยมันจะตัดประโยคแล้วก็สวดไปพร้อมๆกันแล้วค่อยมาแปลไทยทีเดียว Okay, so we'll chant the Pali until the each
Yeah.
number, and then come back to do the
Wait for a while.
Okay, can you hear me?
Wait for a while. I doing the chanting. Yeah, can. Can.
Evening, Ajahn. Good evening, Ajahn. Can we start now? So I think we should start now. Good evening, Ajahn and the Sangha. Good evening, brother and sister in the Dhamma. Let's pay respect to Ajahn and the Sangha by bowing 3 times. We will now begin with the request for 3 refuge, 5 and 8 precepts together. We will now invite Sister Yu Yin to lead.
Okay. Namo. Sorry. Maya Pante Tisaralena Saha Ata Pancha Sirani Yachama Tati Tutiyampi Maya Pante Tisaralena Saha Atta Pancha Sirani Yachama Tatiyampi Maya Pante Tisaralena Saha Atta Pancha Sirani Yachama
นะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะ
นะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะ
พุทธังสรณังคัจฉามิ
พุทธังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ธัมมังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ธัมมังสรณังคัจฉามิ
สังฆังสรณังคัจฉามิ
สังฆังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ทุติยัมปิพุทธังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ทุติยัมปิพุทธังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ทุติยัมปิธัมมังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ทุติยัมปิธัมมังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ทุติยัมปิสังฆังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ตติยัมปิสังฆังยัมปิสังฆังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ตติยัมปิพุทธังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ตติยัมปิพุทธังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ตติยัมปิธัมมังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ตติยัมปิธัมมังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ตติยัมปิสังฆังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ตติยัมปิสังฆังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ติสรณะคัมนังนิธิตัง
อามาปันติ
ปานาติปาตาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
ปานาติปาตาเวรมณีสิกขาปะ
ตังสมาธิยามิ
อาทินนาทานาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
อาทินนาทานาเวรมณีสิกขาปะดังสมาธิยามิ
กาเมสุมิจฉาจาราเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
คาเมสุมิจฉาจาราเว เวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิ
For the eighth preceptor อะปรัมมจาริยาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิ
อะปรามาจาริยาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิ
มุสาวาทาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิ
มุสาวาทาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิ
สุราเมรยมัชฌัปมาทฐานาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิ
สุราเมรยมัจจปมาทฐานาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิ
For the eighth preceptor วิการะโภชนาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิ
วิการะโภชนาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิ
นัจจคีตะวาทิตะวิสุขทัสสนามาลาคันทะวิเลปนะดารณมันดนะวิภูสนัฏฐานาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิ
นัจจกิตาวริตาวิสุขทัสสนะมารากันตาวิเลปนะดารณมันดนะวิภูสนัฏฐานาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิ
ปุจจาสยนะมหาสยนาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิ
อุจจาสยนะมหาสยนาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิ
อิมานิปัญจอัฏฐสิกขาปทานิสมาธิยามิ
อิมานิอัตถสิกขาปทานิสมาธิยามิอิมานิอัตถสิกขาปทานิสมาธิยามิอิมานิอัตถสิกขาปทานิสมาธิยามิ
สีเลนะสุขติยันติสีเลนะโภคสัมปทาสีเลนะนิพพุติยันติตัสมาสีลังวิโสทะเย
สาธุสาธุสาธุ Yeah, pay respect one more time to Ajahn by bowing 3 times. First bow, second bow, third bow.
We will now invite Ajahn to lead us in the chanting, please.
Okay, so today we continue on the Mahaparinibbana Sutta. Okay. Page 13, number 145. Sāriputtasīhanādo, Sāriputtasīhanādo. Page 13. So we do the Pali first, and then we come back to chant translation. 13, page 13. Sāriputta Lion's Law. Okay, that's it. Yeah. Okay, 145. อัตถโคอายสมาสาริปุตโตเยนะภควาเตนุปสังกมิอุปสังกมิตวาภควันตังอภิวาเทตวาเอกมันตังนิสิธิเอกมันตังนิสินโนโคอายสมาสาริปุตโตภควันตังเอตัทโวจาเอวังปสันโนอหังพันเตภควตินะจาหุนะจะภวิสสตินะเจตระหิวิชชติอัญโยสัมมโนวาปรัมมโนวาภควตาภิญโยอภิญญาตาโรยัตถิทังสัมโพธิยันติ ปุราราโคเตอายังสาริปุตตะอภาสีวาจาภาสิตาเอกังโสขหิโตสีหนาโทนาทิโตเอวังปัสสันโนอหังพันเตภควตินะจาหุนะจาภวิสตินะเจตระหิวิชติอัญโยสัมมโนวาพรัมมโนวาภควตาพิญโยพิญญาตาโรยัตถิทังสัมโพธิยันติกิงเตสาริปุตเตสาริปุตตะเยเตอาเหสุงอติตมัฏฐานังอรหันโตสัมมาสัมพุทธาสัพเพเตภควันโตเจตสาเจโตปริจจวิทธิตาเอวังสีราเตภควันโตอเหสุงอิติปิเอวังธัมมาเอวังปัญญาเอวังวิหารีเอวังวิมุตตาเตภควันโตอเหสุงอิติปิติโนเหตังพันเตกิงปนเตสาริปุตตะเยเตภวิสสันติอนาคามิมัฏฐานังอรหันโตสัมมาสัมพุทธาสัพเพเตภควันโตเจตสาเจโตปริจจวิทธิตาเอวังสีราเตภควันโตภวิสสันติอิติปิเอวังธัมมาเอวังปัญญาเอวังวิหารีเอวังวิมุตตาเตภควันโตภวิสสันติอิติปิติโนเหตังพันเตกิงปนเตสาริปุตตะอหังเอตระหิอรหังสัมมาสัมพุทโธเจตสาเจโตปริจจวิทธิโตเอวังสีโลภควาอิติปิเอวังธัมโมเอวังปัญโยเอวังวิหารีเอวังวิมุตโตภควาอิติปิติโนเหตังพันเตเอทาจาหิเตสาริปุตตะอตีตานาคตปัจจุปันเนสุอรหันเตสุสัมมาสัมพุทเทสุเจโตปริยานานังนัตถิอัฏฐกิญจารหิเตอายังสาริปุตตะอุลาลาอาสพีวาจาภาสิตาเอกังโสขหิโตสีหนาโทนาทิโตเอวังปสันโนอหังพันเตภควตินะจาหุนะจภวิสตินะเจตระหิวิชติอัญโยสัมมโนวาพรัมมโนวาภควตาพิญโยพิญญาตาโรยัตถิทังสัมโพธิยันติ Then indeed the Venerable Sāriputta approached to where the Blessed One was. Having paid homage to the Blessed One, he sat down to one side. Seated to one side indeed, the Venerable Sāriputta said this to the Blessed One. Thus confident am I, Venerable Sir, in the Blessed One. There has not been, there will not be, nor is there now found another ascetic or Brahmin more knowledgeable than the Blessed One regarding awakening. Lofty indeed, Sāriputta, is this bull-like speech of yours that has been spoken, a categorical statement that has been taken up, a lion's roar has been roared. Thus confident am I, Venerable Sir, in the Blessed One. There has not been, there will not be, nor is there now found another ascetic or Brahmin more knowledgeable than the Blessed One regarding awakening. What then, Sāriputta? Those who were in the past period, all those Blessed Ones, Arahants, perfectly awakened ones, have all those Blessed Ones been known by you, having encompassed their minds with mine. Thus, virtuous were those Blessed Ones, or thus of such qualities, thus wise, thus dwelling, thus liberated were those Blessed Ones. Oh, indeed, Venerable Sir. What then, Sāriputta? Those who will be in the future period, Arahants, perfectly awakened ones, have all those Blessed Ones be known by you, having encompassed their minds with mine. Thus, virtuous will those blessed ones be, or thus of such qualities, thus wise, thus dwelling, thus liberated, will those blessed ones be? No, indeed, Venerable Sir. What then, Sāriputta? I, who am at present an Arahant, a perfectly awakened one, am I known by you, having encompassed my with my. Thus, virtuous is the blessed one, or thus of such qualities, thus wise, thus dwelling, thus liberated is the blessed one? No, indeed, Venerable Sir. Here then, Sāriputta, regarding the past, future, and present Arahants, perfectly awakened one, you do not have knowledge to encompassing minds. Why then, Sāriputta, is this lofty bull-like speech of yours spoken, a categorical statement taking up a lion's roar? Thus confident am I, Venerable Sir, in the blessed one. There has not been, there will not be, nor is there now found another ascetic of Brahmin more knowledgeable than the blessed one regarding awakenings. นักโขเมพันเตอติตานาคตปัจจุบันเนสุอรหันเตสุสัมมาสัมพุทเทสุเจโตปริยานานังอัตถิอภิจะเมธัมมันวโยวิธิโตไสยถาปิพันเตรัญโยปัจจันติมังนักขรังทันหุทาปังทันหาปาการโตปัสสยาปาการสันทิงวาปาการวิวารังวาอันตมโสพิลารนิขมะนะมัตตัมปิตัสสะเอวมัสสะเยโคโยเกจิโอราริกาปานาอิมังนักขรังปวิสันติวานิขมันติวาสัพเพเตอิมินาวัทวเรนะปวิสันติวานิขมันติวาติเอวเมวะโคเมพันเตธัมมันวโยวิธิโตเยเตพันเตอเหสุงอติตมัฏฐานังอรหันโตสัมมาสัมพุทธาสัพเพเตภควันโตปัญจนิวาระเนปหายาเจตโสอุปกิเลเสปัญญายาทุกภริกหเนจตุสุสติปัฏฐาเนสุสุปฏิทิฏฐจิตตาสัตตโพชังเคยถาภูตังภาเวตวาอนุตตรังสัมมาสัมโพธิงอภิสัมพุทธิงสุเยปิเตพันเตภวิสันติอนาคตมัฏฐานังอรหันโตสัมมาสัมพุทธาสัพเพเตภควันโตปัญจนิวาระเนปหายาเจตโสอุปกิเลเสปัญญายาทุกภริกหเนจตุสุตติปัฏฐาเนสุสุปฏิทิตาจินตาสัตตโพชังเคยถาภูตังภาเวตวาอนุตตรังสัมมาสัมโพธิงอภิสัมพุทธิสันติภัคควาปิพันเตเอตระหิอรหังสัมมาสัมพุทโธปัญจนิวาระเนปหายาเจตโสอุปกิเลเสปัญญายทุกภริกหเนจตุสุสติปัฏฐาเนสุสุปฏิทิตาจิตโตสัตตโพชังเคยถาภูตังภเวตวาอนุตตรังสัมมาสัมโพธิงอภิสัมพุทโธติ I do not have, Venerable Sir, knowledge to encompassing minds regarding the past, future, and present arahants, perfectly awakened ones, but I have understood the cessation of the Dhamma, just as, Venerable Sir, there might be a king's border city with strong ramparts, strong walls, and gateways, with one's gateway, and there might be a gatekeeper who is wise, skilled, intelligent, who keeps out the unknown and admits the known. He, going around the surrounding path or around the city, might not see a joint in a wall or an opening in the wall, not even as much as the size of a cat's exit. He would think thus: whatever large creatures enter or leave this city, all of them enter or leave by this gateway alone. In just the same way, Venerable Sir, the successions of the Dhamma has been understood by me. Those, Venerable Sir, who were in the past period Arahants, perfectly awakened ones, all those blessed ones, having abandoned the five hindrances, defilements of mind, weakness of wisdom, with minds well established in the four establishments of mindfulness, having developed the seven factors of awakening as they really are, awakened to the unsurpassed perfect awakening. Those two, Venerable Sir, who will be in the future period Arahants, perfectly awakened one, all those blessed ones, having abandoned the five hindrances, defilements of mind, weakness of wisdom, with minds well established in the four establishments of mindfulness, having developed the seven factors of awakening as they really are, will awaken to the unsurpassed perfect awakening. The blessed one too, Venerable Sir, at present, an Arahant, a perfectly awakened one, having abandoned the five hindrances, defilements of mind, weakness of wisdom, with minds well established in the four establishments of mindfulness, having developed the seven factors of awakening as they really are, has awakened to the unsurpassed perfect awakening. ตัตตรปิสุทังภควานารันทายังวิหารันโตปาวาริกัมภาวเนเอตเทวะพหุรังภิกขุนังธัมมิงกทังกโรติอิติสีรังอิติสมาธิอิติปัญญาศีลปริภาวิโตสมาธิมหัพพโลโหติมหานิสังโสสมาธิปริภาวิตาปัญญามหัพพลาโหติมหานิสังสาปัญญาปริภาวิตังจิตตังสัมมเทวะอาสเวหิวิมุจจติสยติธรรมกามาสวะภวาสวะอวิชชาสวะติ There too, indeed, the blessed one, while dwelling at Nalanta in Pavarika's mango groves, frequently gave these very Dhamma talks to the monks. Such is virtue, such is concentration, such is wisdom. Concentration perfected by virtue is of great fruit, of great benefit. Wisdom perfected by concentration is of great fruit, of great benefit. The mind perfected by wisdom is completely free from the tense. That is the tense of sensual desire, the tense of existence, the tense of ignorance. Okay, next chapter. Dussīlaādīnavā, the danger of immorality. อัตถโคภควานารันทายังยถาภิรันตังวิหาริตวาอายสมันตังอานันทังอามันเตสีอายามานันทเยนะปาตริคาโมเตนุปสังกมิสามาติเอวังพันเตติโคอายสมาอานันโทภควโตปัจจโสสีอัตถโคภความหตาภิกขุสังเคนะสัตถิงเยนะปาตริคาโมตถวสริอัสโสสุงโคปาตริคามิกาอุปาสกาภักขวากิลปาตริคามังอนุปัตโตติอัตถโคปาตริคามิกาอุปาสกาเยนะภักขวาเตนุปสังกมิงสุอุปสังกมิตวาภควันตังอภิวาเทตวาเอกมันตังนิสีทิงสุเอกมันตังนิสินนาโคปาตริคามิกาอุปาสกาภควันตังเอตทโวจาอัตถิวาเสตุโนพันเตภควาอาวสเทระเทคารันติทักอาวาสถาคารันติอัตถิวาเสสิภควาตุนหิภาเวนะอัตถโคปาตริคามิกาอุปาสกาภควโตอธิวาสนังวิทิตวา พุทธายาสนะภควันตังอภิวาเทตวาปทักขินังกตวาเยนะอาวาสถาคารังเตนุปสังกมิงสุอุปสังกมิตวาสัพพสันธาริงอาวาสถาคารังสันธาริตวาอาสนานิปัญญาเปตวาอุทกะมณิกังปฏิทาเปตวาเตระปาทีปังอาโรเปตวาเยนะภควาเตนุปสังกมิงสุอุปสังกมิตวาภควันตังอภิวาเทตวาเอกมันตังอัตถังสุเอกมันตังทิตาโคปาตริคามิกาอุปาสกาภควันตังเอตทโวจะสัพพสันธาริสันธาตังพันเตอาวาสถาคารังอาสนานิปัญญัตถานิอุทธกะมณิโกปฏิทาปิโตเตระปฏิโปอาโรปิโตยัสสธานิพันเตภควาการังมัญญติติอัตถโคภควาสายันหสมยังนิวาเสตวาปัตตจีวรมาทายะสัตถิงภิกขุสังเคนะเยนะอาวสถาคารังเตนุปสังกมิอุปสังกมิตวาปาเทปะปักกาเรตวาอาวสถาคารังปวิสิตวามัชฌิมังธัมพังนิสายะปะปุรัตถาภพิมุขโขนิสีทิภิกขุสังโฆปิโคปาเทปักคาเรตวาอาวสถาคารังปวิสิตวาปัจฉิมังพิติงนิสายะปุรัตถาพิมุขโขนิสีทิภควันตาเมวะปุรักขัตตวาปาตริคามิกาปิโคอุปาสกาปาเทปากะเรียเตตวาอาวสถาคารังปวิสิตวาปุรัตถิมังพิติงนิสายะปัจฉิมาภิมุขานิสีตุติงสุภควันตเมวะปุรักขัตตวาThen indeed the blessed one, having dwelt at Nalanta as long as he likes, addressed the Venerable Ananda, "Come, Ananda, let us approach to where Patalikama is." Yes, Venerable Sir. Indeed, the Venerable Ananda ascends to the blessed one. Then indeed the blessed one, together with a great community of monks, arrived as where Patalikama was. The lay follower of Patalikama heard, "The blessed one," it is said, "has arrived at Patalikama." Then indeed the lay followers of Patalikama approached to where the blessed one was. Having approached, having paid homage to the blessed one, they sat down to one side. Seated to one side indeed, the lay follower of Patalikama said this to the blessed one, "May the blessed one, Venerable Sir, consent to come to our rest house." The blessed one consented by silence. Then indeed the lay follower of Patalikama, having understood the consent of the blessed one, having risen from their seats, having paid homage to the blessed one, having circumambulated him, keeping him on their right, approached to where the rest house was. Having approached it, having spread the rest house all over with spreadings, having arranged seats, having set up a water pot, having hung an oil lamp, they approached to where the blessed one was. Having approached, having paid homage to the blessed one, they stood to one side. Standing to one side indeed, the lay follower of Patalikama said this to the blessed one, "The rest house is spread all over with spreadings, Venerable Sir. The seats are arranged, the water pot is set up, the oil lamp is hung. Now, Venerable Sir, the blessed one may do what he thinks is the right time for." Then indeed the blessed one, in the evening time, having rest, having taken bowls and robes together with the community of monks, approached to where the rest house was. Having approached, having washed his feet, having entered the rest house, he sat down against the middle pillar facing east. The community of monks too, indeed, having washed their feet, having entered the rest house, sat down against the western wall facing east, having the blessed one at the front. The lay follower of Patalikama too, indeed, having washed their feet, having entered the rest house, sat down against the eastern wall facing west, having the blessed one at the front. อัตถโคภควาปาตริคามิเกอุปาสเกอามันเตสีปัญจิเมขหปัตตโยอาทีนวาทุสิลัสสะสีราวิปันปัตติยากัตตเมปัญจอิทัคหปัตตโยทุสีโลสีลวิปันโนปมาทาธิการนังมหาติงโพคาจานิงนิคัจฉติอายังปัตถโมอาทีนโวทุสีลัสสะสีลวิปัตติยาปุณัจจปรังกหปัตตโยทุสีลัสสะสีลวิปันนัสสปาปโกกิตติสัทโธอัพพุคัจฉติอายังทุติโยอาทีนโวทุสีลัสสะสีลวิปัตติยาปุณัจจปรังกหปัตตโยทุสีโลสีลวิปันโนอัญญัญญาเทวะปริสังอุปสังกมติยัตถิขัตติยปริสังยัตถิพรหมณปริสังยัตถิกหปติปริสังยัตถิสมณปริสังอาวิสารโตอุปสังกมติมันกุภูโตอายังตัตติโยอาทีนโวทุสีลัสสะสีลวิปัตติยาปุณัจจปรังกหปัตตโยทุสีโลสีลวิปันโนสัมมุลลโหการังกโรติอายังจตุโธอาทีนโวทุสีลัสสะสีลวิปัตติยาปุณัจจปรังกหปัตติโยทุสีโลสีลวิปันโนกายัสสะเพทาปรังมรณาอปายังทุกขติงวินิปาตังนิระยังอุปปัชชติอายังปัญจโมอาทีนโวทุสีลัสสะสีลวิปัตติยาอิเมโคกหปัตตโยปัญจอาทีนวาทุสีลัสสะสีลวิปัตติยา Then indeed the blessed one addressed the lay follower of Pattarikama. There are these 5 householders, dangers for the immoral ones who has failures in virtue. What 5? Here, householders, the immoral ones who has fails in virtue due to negligence, falls into great loss of wealth. This is the first danger of the immoral ones who has failure in virtue. Furthermore, householders, an evil reputation of fame arises from the immoral one who has failed in virtue. This is the second danger for the immoral one who has failure in virtue. Furthermore, householders, the immoral one who has failed in virtue, whatever assembly he approaches, whether an assembly of nobles or an assembly of Brahmins or an assembly of householders or an assembly of ascetics, he approaches without confidence, embarrassed. This is the third danger for the immoral ones who have failure in virtue. Furthermore, householders, the immoral one who has failed in virtue dies confused. This is the fourth danger for the immoral one who has failure in virtue. Furthermore, householders, the immoral one who has failed in virtue at the breaking up of the body after death is reborn in a state of deprivation, in the bad destination, in the lower realms, in hell. This is the fifth danger of the immoral one who has failure in virtue. These householders are the 5 dangers of the immoral one who has failure in virtue. Okay, the opposite, the Sīlavanttaānisaṃsā, the benefits of the virtues. ปัญจิเมขหปัตตโยอานิสังสาสีลวโตสีลสัมปนายากัตตเมปัญจอิทัคหปัตตโยสีลวาสีลสัมปันโนอัปปมาทาธิกรณังมหันตังโภคักขันธังอธิคัจฉติอายังปัตถโมอานิสังโสสีลวโตสีลสัมปทายาปุณัจจปรังกหปัตโยสีลวโตสีลสัมปันนัสสกัลลยาโนกิตติสัทโธอัพพุคัจฉติอายังทุติโยอานิสังโสสีลวโตสีลสัมปทายาปุณัจจปรังกหปัตโยสีลวาสีลสัมปันโนยัญญเทวปริสังอุปสังกมติยัตถิขัตติยปริสังยัตถิพรหมณปริสังยัตถิกหปติปริสัง ยัตถิสมณปริสังวิสารโทอุปสังกัมมติอามันกุภูโตอายังตติโยอานิสังโสสีลวโตสีลสัมปทายาปุณจจปรังกหปตโยสีลวาสีลสัมปันโนอสัมมูลโหการังกโรติอายังจตุโทอานิสังโสสีลวโตสีลสัมปทายาปุณจจปรังกหปตโยสีลวาสีลสัมปันโนกายัสสเพทาปรังมรณาสุขติงสัพขังโลกังอุปปัชชติอายังปัญจโมอานิสังโสสีลวโตสีลสัมปทายาอิเมโคกหปตโยปัญจอานิสังสาสีลวโตสีลสัมปทายาติ There is these five householders benefit for the virtuous one who has accomplishment in virtue. What five? Here, householder, the virtuous one who has accomplishment in virtue due to diligence attains a great mass of wealth. This is the first benefit of the virtuous one who has accomplishment in virtue. Furthermore, householders, a beautiful reputation of fame arises for the virtuous one who has accomplishment in virtue. This is the second benefit of the virtuous one who has accomplishment in virtue. Furthermore, householder, the virtuous one who has accomplishment in virtue, whatever assembly he approaches, whether an assembly of nobles, or an assembly of Brahmins, or an assembly of householders, or an assembly of ascetics, he approaches with confidence, not embarrassed. This is the third benefit of the virtuous one who has accomplishment in virtue. Furthermore, householder, the virtuous one who has accomplishment in virtue, dies unconfused. This is the fourth benefit of the virtuous one who has accomplishment in virtue. Furthermore, householder, the virtuous one who has accomplishment in virtue, at the breaking up of the body after death, is reborn in a good destination in a heavenly world. This is the fifth benefit for the virtuous one who has accomplishment in virtue. These householders are the five benefits for the virtuous one who has accomplishment in virtue. อัตถโคภควาปาตริคามิเกอุปาสเกพหุเทวรตติงธัมมิยากถายาสันทเสตวาสมาทเปตวาสัมมุเตเชตวาสัมปหังเสตวาอุยโยเชสิอภิการตาโคขหปัตโยรตติยสถานิตุมเหการังมัญญธาติเอวังพันเตติโคปาตริคามิกาอุบาสกาภควโตปวิสปฏิสุตตวาอุทธายาสนาภควันตังอภิวาเทตวาปะคักขีนังกัตวาปักกมิงสุอัตถโคภควาอจิรปักขันเตสุปาตริคามิเกสุอุปาสเกสุสุญญาคารังปาวิสี Then indeed the blessed one, for much of the night, having instructed, having urged, having roused, having granted the lay follower of Patarikama with Dhamma talk, dismiss them. The night has passed, householder. Now you may do what you think is the right time for. Yes, Venerable Sir. Indeed, the lay follower of Patarikama, having ascended to the blessed one, having risen from their seats, having paid homage to the blessed one, having circumambulated him, keeping him on their right, departed. Then indeed the blessed one, not long after the departure of the lay follower of Patarikama, enter an empty dwelling. Okay, so I can now sit meditation.
We will now do the formal request for the Dhamma talk, and we shall invite Andrea to lead us.
Okay, sorry. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Let us pay respect 3 times by bowing 3 times to Ajahn. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. Brahma Jaloka Tipati Sanghapati Kata Jariyana Nivara Ayachata Santi Tasata Paraja Kajatika Dese tu Dhammang Anukampimang Pajang.
นะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะพุทธังธัมมังสังฆังนะมะสามิ
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Let us pay respect 3 times to Ajahn again. First bow. Second bow. Third bow.
Okay, so we continue on the Mahaparinibbana Sutta. So which is a theme for this year. Like I said the other day, this year is snake year. So it's complete the cycle of the Buddha Parinibbana, the Buddha Parinibbana on a snake year. So it's 214 cycle. So you can time 12 equal to 2,568. Okay. So this is a Buddhist era. Okay, so if we count Buddhist era, we have to change on Visakha, which is in May. So it's still considered snake year according to Buddha era. Okay, so because of that, we decided to do some chanting, special chanting, Mahaparinibbana Sutta, and then we up to this chapter of the Sāriputtasīhanādo, Sāriputta Lion's Laws. So you know the Buddha Lion's Laws when he proclaimed or he teaching the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, that the Buddha Lion's Laws, that he turn the wheel turning Buddha. But for the Sāriputta Lion's Laws is he basically saying that of all the Buddha, the past, present, and future, then there has not been, there will not be, nor is there now, found another ascetic Brahmin more knowledgeable than the Blessed One regarding awakening. So it's kind of quite a bold statement to speak like that with confidence that Sāriputta said that nobody can equal the Blessed One in regard to awakening. So the Buddha asked Sāriputta, do you have any psychic power, to enable to say that statement? Can you have the knowledge of different Buddha in the past, in the future? And Sāriputta said no, he doesn't have that psychic power because only the Buddha know the mind of another Buddha. So the Buddha, he doesn't know, but he know by deduction. So he give a very beautiful simile that he through the practice he see that the it's like the city surrounded by very tight wall, and nobody can get in and out. Even the cat is very tight. It's only going in and out through one doors, and when you guard that door, so you know what's going on in the city. So the same way, because he also practiced this, he know the sequence of how the Buddha attained enlightenment by abandoning 5 hindrances, which is the defilements of mind, weakness of wisdom, and then establish in 4 foundation of mindfulness. So this is the most important thing, that when you practice 4 foundation of mindfulness, then you know that is no other way around it. Every Buddha, past, present, and future, they also follow the same path. Discarding or abandoning the 5 hindrances and cultivate the 4 foundation of mindfulness, and then develop the 7 factor of awakening, Phochanga. And of course, after that, it will be the Noble Eightfold Path, and then attain the perfect awakening. Okay, so this is coming from the one who only second to the Buddha in terms of the wisdom. Nobody have the wisdom like Sāriputta, except the Buddha, of course. The Buddha is have the all knowledge. So with this, it's pretty reassuring in the way that if you want to know the Buddha, or the mind of the Buddha, is you don't have to say, okay, some people might think, oh, maybe I wait for the next Buddha, for example. He'll have the same path. He'll abandon the 5 hindrances. He'll cultivate the 4 foundation of mindfulness, attain the 7 factor of enlightenment, and then Noble Eightfold Path, and then fully awakening. So it's quite reassuring that you can just follow this one Buddha is the same, and all the Buddha in the past, and even there's going to be a Buddha in the future, they also see the same thing, and then they walk the same path. Okay, so this comes from the Venerable Sāriputta himself. And again, here we come. I think we already the Buddha, he just summarized his teaching into the virtue, concentration, and wisdom. So this is the threefold training, right? The Sila, Samadhi, and Panya. And this is the key. Like then the Sila, Paripavito, Samadhi, Mahaphalo Hoti, Mahānisaṃsā. Concentration perfected by virtue is of great fruit, of great benefit. Samadhi Paripavita, Panya Mahaphala Hoti, Mahānisaṃsā. Wisdom perfected by concentration is of great fruit, of great benefit. And then Panya Paripavitang Cittang Sammateva Asavehi Vimucchati. The mind perfected by wisdom is completely free from the tense. Sayatitang Kamasava Pavasava Avicchasava. That is the tent of sensual desire, the tent of existence, and the tent of ignorance. So this is we will come back to this again and again. Every time the Buddha go to the new places on this path toward the end. Before he passed away, final Nibbana, he summarized his teaching into this key term. So that means that it's very important. Otherwise, he will not come back to this again and again. So basically, it's a Sila, Samadhi, and Panya, which is a part of the Noble Eightfold Path, right? The right view and right intention is wisdom, right speech, right action, right livelihood. This is the virtue, the Sila, and right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. This is the Samadhi. So when you practice this in the step, the Sila, Samadhi, and Panya, you have the virtue, the Samadhi that is purified by the virtue. It will be the strong Samadhi with the firm foundation. And then you have the Panya, the wisdom that is perfectly purified by the concentration. So that Panya will be also firm as well. You have the mind that is still, that can see things clearly, and the mind that is purified by wisdom. Basically, you see again and again of the impermanence, sufferings, and not self. Then with that mind that purified by wisdom, the mind will be free from this sensual pressure, existence, and delusion. So again, if you know this Four Noble Truths of this wheel turning, the Bhava Chakra, the suffering is like the mind, the mind that's wandering on in samsara. And these three can also be the taint, the sensual pressure, existence, and ignorance. And when you, on the right hand, you cultivate the virtue, samadhi, and panya, sila, samadhi, and panya, then you remove the mind from this taint, from this sensual pressure, existence, and avijja, and move it out in the open. So you bring it to this open, and the mind is liberated. So this, you have this symbol of the dukkha, samudaya, the dukkha and the cause, and you have the nirodha, end of suffering, and the magga, the path. So you can imagine that the Buddha pulling out the mind with this teaching. Okay, so this in the Sāriputtasīhanādo. Okay, now we go into the detail of which one. The start from virtue, the morality. So this is again the teaching of the Buddha is always refer to the, if you're not keeping the virtue, what will be happening? What is the result of breaking the precept? So it's not like the giving you the kind of punishment. You have to do this. It's not like the commandment, which is coming, say, from God. You do this, otherwise I punish you. If you keep the precept, I will reward you to heaven. It's not that. It's the internal process of when you break precept, when you're immoral in all this way, then what will be what is the state of the person who are defiled by their wrong conduct, by the false speech or false action. Okay, so there will be the danger. There's 5 things. What 5? The first one is will be loss of wealth. So this is the thing that you can see easily in even this life. You can see when people with breaking the precept, they might earn the quick money, but in the long run, then they couldn't keep whatever they earn. They will lose it somehow. So this is the thing that you can you can see that it's going on now in the world when people have a wrong occupation, like say like selling weapons or selling drugs, or you can name whatever it is. It's so many examples you can see. Okay, and then the second danger of the immoral is the evil reputation. Of course, people will not, because any civilized society will know what the cause and condition for declining. So if you break the precept, then you make the society is not present to live. So people will be you have a good reputation. You have a bad reputation. This also, the second one is also the thing that you can see in this life. And the third one is that when you break precept, then you are not you will feel remorse, and you will not will not be proud when you attain when you go in the assembly of whatever assembly is. This is the example of the nobles, the Brahmins, the householders, or the ascetics. You will be embarrassed. You will not have any confidence. So basically, you lost the benefit of being part of the society and to be nourished, to be progress with them. Even the people who break precept, they still want to be within the group of people who keep precept. Isn't it? You think about it. Say if you are killing, for example, you go and kill, but you also want to belong to the group where it's not killed, because you don't want to believe in that constantly fear of some people will kill you. So you in a way you still want to live it, or if you're stealing, you still want to live in the place where they respect your money. If you steal something and somebody else steal from you, then you're in trouble. So you can see that right away that it's just gonna work. In the long run, it's better to keep the precept for your own safety, for your own welfare. So these two example is to this first 3 is very easy to see now, because it's the result in the present life. And number 4, this is it maybe a little bit difficult to see, because the Buddha say when you fail in virtue, you will die confused. It's again, when you die, if you die confused, you go to bad destination. But the Buddha haven't started with the bad destination yet. He just say, okay, you die confused, because maybe some people will not say believe in afterlife, but believe in rebirth, for example. But in itself, just the act of dying confused is also bad enough. You don't, if the afterlife exists, then of course you go to the lower realm of existence. But even though it's not there yet, the fact that you die confused is in itself also the thing you can prove as well. And to die confused, it just it's nothing come good out of it. You just don't know what you're doing. And of course, there's a next life, because if you're not arahant, then you still have a samsara is still long, so you have to be reborn. So after that, you're reborn instead of deprivation, bad destination, and lower realms in hell. Okay, so you can see again, the Buddha talk about heaven and hell. It doesn't, because some people say that this is not the Buddhist concept. Buddha already talk about the present moment. Well, yes and no. He also talk about this long life as well. Like the past life, like last when the Venerable Sāriputta make a lion roar, he also refer to the Buddha in the past and Buddha in the future, which is the long samsara. And here again, this is also in the word of the Buddha. He referred to the next life as well as hell or heaven, depend on your action, on your karma. So if you be fair when you read the sutta, that's why I like to read in Pali as well, and you can translate by yourself that this is not the thing that we add on. This is the word of the Buddha, and with his, if you trust in his omniscience or his psychic power, then he really personally experienced that before he teach. One of the quality of the Buddha is he able to teach what he see. He able to put it into word. So this is the very trustworthy source for some people who have a doubt about samsara, whether there are such a thing as past life and next life. Especially for you, it's just probably the same as yesterday or tomorrow. Do you believe that you have yesterday or tomorrow or not? If you still trapped in samsara, it's the same thing. The karma will bound you to this, and this is the source of material that why we come to that conclusion. You read it carefully. Okay, so this is the danger of breaking the precept, and the positive is just the benefit is the opposite. If you keep your precept pure, then you will be gaining the wealth. I think nowadays people want a trustworthy person, to help them. So it might not gain the quick money, but in the long run, it's very sustainable. So it's a great policy. Truthfulness, the honesty is always a good policy in anything. And then good reputation will arise, and then you will be able to join any assembly, especially the ascetic, right? If you able to be familiar with the ascetic, then they will come and then teach you. So you're able to gain from their knowledge. Every assembly have something to teach you, or you can be benefit from being social with, socialize with all of this group, because you're part of those, and they're happy to have you there. And also people with virtues will die unconfused. So say if you are arahant, you already finished your job, then with die unconfused, then you'll be last rebirth. This is your last life. There will be no reborn. So that's very nice. And then if you haven't finished yet, you still have the kilesas, still have karma in the past. You will reborn in the good destination. So it's a win and win. If you finish all these things, this will be your last life. But if not, you still have some attachment to whatever form, then the next life will be good destination. Okay, so so this is the main teaching of him in this. Okay, by the way, the Pattalikama is the village in the Buddha time, Patali Kama is a small. Kama mean village. Patali is a name. Okay. Now Patali is big. It become city after the Buddha time. Basically, next week we will talk about this when the King Ajahn want to build the city to fight with Vesali. So he planned to move the capital from Makata to this Patali Kama. At the time of the Buddha, it's still the small village. But later, it will become big. It will be called Sāriputta. And it will be the capital of Makata. Ajahn he will after he beat the Vesali and he will move the capital here and will be prosper. At the time of King Asoka, this is the center of Buddhism. Asoka, he's the first emperor that sending the Buddhism out of India. So we are benefit from that. This is the origin place where it's the capital of Buddhism during the King Asoka time, and he sent a missionary, 9 route, and one of them come here in the Suvarnabhumi. So the Patali Kama have that kind of important, quite a crucial link from the time the Buddha up to now. And you can see that when we read the way of how the people in Patali Kama invite the Blessed One in, right? So at that time they just finished the new building. So this is a very common tradition where you any new building you want to invite the one with the virtuous one, especially the monk, to make use of that. Here it has the rest house. So at that time it's still not big because it's just a small village, but they built this rest house and then they invite the Buddha. And you can see that the seating of the Buddha and the Sangha is still the model for building the monastery up to today. Because sometimes people ask why the Buddha Rupa have to face east. This is the answer, because we try to replicate that. So in this particular chapter, you see the whole sequence of what they do. When they enter in the new building, they wash their feet. People will prepare for the feet washing water. Wash the Buddha feet. The Buddha go in. There's a main pillar. He will sit back to the main pillar and face east, right? And all the Sangha will sit behind him, also facing east. So you can see that is the model of the monastery. If you go to the monastery, most of the monastery, the Buddha, if you want to know the direction, you look at the Buddha, he will face east. Only in a certain special circumstance when the Buddha will face other direction. But in India, in the time the Buddha, this is the tradition. The Buddha will face east, or the Sangha will face east, and then when the lay people come in, they will face the Buddha. They will facing west. Okay, so that become the model of the building the monastery later on up to this day. Here in Bulam, I'm also facing east. So I don't know. I think you also facing west. if you're facing the Buddha image in your center, according to this. Okay, so it's many things you can try to get all this detail and kind of very reassuring that we just try to replicate the event that happened in the Buddha time, and hopefully that we can somehow reenact or emulate whatever the dialogue from the Buddha, and maybe who knows, maybe that some people might understand the same way of the Buddha teaching and your understanding. Okay, so that pity about the context of what we chant tonight. So maybe I will leave for any questions. You have any question? In the past few sessions, I speak all the way until the end. Now maybe better to leave time for Q&A. So any any question that you might want to ask regarding this Mahaparinibbana Sutta, or maybe other practical questions about the meditation that you have.
Han Dhammayan Dhammakataya Sadhu Karam Tadamase Sadhu 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 Anumodami.
Thank you, Ajahn, for the Dhamma sharing. We will now move on to the Q&A session. You may ask the question by raising your hand and we will unmute you. Alternatively, you can also type in your question in the chat box. Any question from NDR?
Maybe I can add a little bit too, because we just passed the last full moon, is called Mahaparinibbana, the 3rd of March, which is the full moon in March. Normally, Mahaparinibbana is a full moon of the 3rd month, which normally it fall into February, but this year somehow it fall in March, because we have 2 8 months. Every 3 or 4 years we have to add extra months, because the lunar calendar is slowly shift. We have to insert 1 month to keep the season in line with the planning time. So this year we have 2 8 months, so we shift everything 1 month. So rather than the full moon of the 3rd, it become the full moon of the 4th. So we celebrate what we call Mahaparinibbana, the Sangha day, on that particular day. And this is the day of, normally we refer to as 1,250 Arahant come together. The Buddha give the Ovata Patimokkha, and also the day of the Venerable Sāriputta enlightened. I think it's good that we chanting the lion roars of the Sāriputta, but this day also special in terms of the Venerable Sāriputta got enlightened, and the Buddha accept the first monastery, the Veruvakkama, Veruvan, the bamboo grove monastery. So we also chant this rest house that offered by the Pattarikama, and also it's a day that the Buddha relinquished his lifespan. He said, from now on 3 months I will enter final parinibbana. It's called the relinquish of the lifespan, Ayu Sankhara. He accepted the invitation of the Mara. You can see Mara as, Mara has many meaning. one of the meaning is Kantamara, the 5 aggregate. So because the Buddha body is very sick now, he has many illness because of a long time that he starved himself during the Attakilamathanu yoga, the extreme of torturing himself. So he got some stomach problem, some breathing, and some bad digestion. So he decided he see that all those the Buddha Bodhisattva, the lay people, layman, laywomen, the monks and the nuns, they all have the ability to understand the Dhamma and able to explain the Dhamma in detail. And if somebody misunderstand, they can correct them. So with all of this quality, the Buddha agreed that he will enter final Parinibbana from 3 months from today, from the Mahapuruša day. So that's why we consider it's a very important day. And also it's a day that they finish the Sankhayana, the Tipitaka. So after the Buddha passed away, Mahakassapa decided to invite 500 Arahants and to basically coming together to correct every teaching of the Buddha and compile it into the tea basket called Tipitaka. So the first one was using about 7 months to finish it. It also finished on Mahapuruša day. So there's some earthquake. The first one is from when the Buddha relinquished the Ayu Sankara. There's a big earthquake. And the second one when the council of first recitation of the Sankhayana finished, it's a second earthquake. So it's also a very important day. And the second council, the Sankhayana, also finished on this particular day as well. It take the first one takes 6 months, and the second one takes 7 months. The first one 500 Arahant, the second one 700 Arahant. And so it's affirm the Vinaya because it starts to lax. The Vesali monks start to, for example, they eat in the afternoon. They sometimes eat alcohol. They accept money. So they have to be, the council have to convene and then make sure that they in line with the Theravada, with the rules and the Vinaya. And also because they know the future, they also have the psychic power to know that in future there will be some problem with the Dhamma. So after the second council, they go up to the Brahma world to invite the Brahma to come down, and that will become the great Arahant called Mokkalibuddhisa. He will be in charge of the third Sankhayana, which happened in the Asoka time, which will be have the question and answer to sort out who is the Theravada, who is in line with the correct teaching, and who is not been disrobed. So it's very crucial moment on that particular day. So many things happening on this day, but I didn't mention because we are past it, but because we don't have a session last week, but this is the crucial moment. So we have this circumambulation, and it's considered Sangha day. Now we have a Visakha Busha, the Buddha day, Asaraha before entering the rain, we call the Dhamma day, and then Mahapuruša is Sangha day. I think it's only in Thailand. Every other place, like in Burma, they don't have one. In Sri Lanka, they don't have one. They have Visakha. Sri Lanka have Visakha, big Visakha. I think Burma, they also have Asaraha as well. But Magha is really unique in Thailand. So we kind of spread the thing out, and Magha is a day that people come to the monastery to do the circumambulation. Okay, so just to mention that it's important that happening, and we just happen to chant. Actually, if we plan to chant along the way, maybe we can chant the section that the Buddha relinquished the Ayu Sankhara. It will be matching the time, but I think because we missing so many times, so we are so lag behind. Okay, so that's about the Makapucha importance day.
Ajahn, there is one question in the chat box. I shall read it out. Ajahn, can we face our direction northwest to Bodhgaya as we are staying southeast of Buddha enlightenment?
Okay. Yeah, like I say, sometimes you have some exception to the rules. You want to face to the Bodhgaya. Yeah, that also it's like whenever Sāriputta, every time he sleep, he always point to the direction of the Vedam Asachi, his teacher, his first teacher. Whenever Sāriputta, he's excel in Gatanyu, strength of gratitude. So every time he sleep, he will find out where is my teacher, which is Vedam Asachi, stay, and he will turn his head toward that direction. So this is this is just the convention. So you just know why you do what you do, then it's okay. So people say, okay, whenever Sāriputta, he have Siddhapata Pramasa, he attached to write a ritual. But then the Buddha convened, and then, okay, Sāriputta, what's going on? Why you do this? And he explained, okay, I do this because I have sense of gratitude. So I face my head to that direction. So that is okay. I mean, as far as you know. So if you use the Bodhgaya as a direction, I know, say like the Muslim, they face their head toward the Mecca. So when they pray, they will have it to that direction, which is one way of convention. So the convention is for people to agree upon what called sammuti. Sammuti is mean the agreement of the whole group agree upon. Okay, so say if we agree that this is a system, because of this, we just read it. So okay, that one system, the Buddha facing east, like this sutta. So it's very nice for people come and then they know where to bow to, where to sit. It's become nice. Otherwise, people will don't have any direction. But if you agree that okay, in this monastery, for some reason, facing east might not be for what maybe. So you just have another convention. Okay, in my monastery, I cannot face the Buddha to that particular direction. It's okay as far as you make convention. Like say, for example, we in Buddhalam, we are building the Ubosata hall. Okay, and because we build it next to the river, by the river bank. So it's much more convenient and in many ways to face the Buddha to the river. Because in the old day, they use the river right or road because people travel by boat. So when they enter the monastery from the river, so they will go right to the Buddha. So that also okay as far as you know what you're doing. See, we have the Buddha Rupa here in Pisanurok called Putta Chinarat, which is the most, I would say, the most beautiful Buddha Rupa in Thailand. They're also facing the river, also facing not facing east but facing north, and the same as Buddha. Our Buddha Rupa, once we finish the Ubosata hall, you're facing north, which is the direction of the river. So yeah, I mean, it's up to you. And I just been traveling to China, because the China they're facing south because they consider that China is very cold, and so when you face south, because almost like the Buddha, like Avalokitesvara, they're looking overlook the south side, so they're sitting from the mountain top and looking down on that direction to the south. So yeah, I mean, it just convention. You just talk among yourself which one is more convenient, and okay, you people come and then they bow to the same direction. I think that's good. You just know what you just have to know why you do what you do, and that should be okay.
Ajahn, there is another question from the chat box. Did the Buddha really reprimand Ananda for not taking his hint to invite the Buddha to stay on? Since the Buddha taught that he did not recommend a single moment of assistance.
Did the Buddha reprimand Ananda for not taking his
hint to invite the Buddha to stay on? Since the Buddha taught that he did not recommend a single moment of assistance.
Yeah, okay. So this occasion, okay, so because the Buddha know that when he relinquished the Ayusankara, then Ananta will be very sad. Okay, so he because he know that, and then if Ananda know that the Buddha give many opportunity for him, for Ananda to invite the Buddha to stay longer. Okay, but Ananda, for some reason, he maybe lapse of mindfulness. In the commentary, they say they were possessed by the Mara, so he doesn't get what the Buddha guided heading to. So he missed that opportunity, and it's 16 times that he didn't invite the Buddha. So please, Venerable, can you stay for the whole eon, for the kappa, for the benefit of other people? So when he missed that 16 times, so when the Buddha say, okay, this is it, 3 months I will be parinibbana, then Ananda have no way of invite the Buddha, because if the Buddha doesn't do that, then it's a temptation to, okay, please, stay longer for benefit of other people. But because he already give the hint 16 times, so Ananda have no other option rather than accept what the Buddha say, and whatever the Buddha say, we call it the Buddha always say the true thing. He will not say the untrue thing. So if the Buddha commits to anything, it's not is unable to take it back. When the Buddha said, okay, 3 months I will relinquish I will enter final parinibbana, he can't just say, okay, yeah, because now you ask me, I will take my word back and I will stay longer. So it will not be that. So whatever the Tathagata, whatever the word of the Tathagata is Atvaya, it will not be other than that. Whatever he say, it will be true. Okay, so with all of these things come together, so you can see that why it's like that. And but again, I think, I don't know, I explained it before, that every Buddha will not live the full lifespan of that people in that time. Why? Because you can see now the Buddha will slowly lost his chief disciple. Sāriputta will enter parinibbana first, and then the Mokkhalana. Okay, so with the Buddha, he it's like a king. If you lost the general, you lost the ministry, then you got less and less people around you, and it's quite, it doesn't have the all the grand of having the Buddha with all the disciples around him. So because the chief disciple departed before, and it's always like that. The chief disciple will find parinibbana first. And the fact that he doesn't live the whole lifespan, he also opened opportunity for Venerable Ananda, Venerable Mahakassapa to step up and having this Tipitaka, preserve the Tipitaka. If the Buddha stay longer than disciple, what happened? then we will not have this Tipitaka, right? Because the Buddha there, what the point of reciting, collecting his teaching? But because he departed first, so the Mahakassapa, Ananda, Upali, they have to come together, collect all 500 Arahant, and that's why this dispensation of the Buddha lasts longer than one lifespan. There are certain Buddha who live long, but they not have the many Tipitaka, not many teaching. During the Buddha of that era, they will have only few generation. Our Buddha, because the human lifespan is so short, so we have this Dhamma Vinaya, so it's many you can call many generation. That's why it lasts for 5,000 years. Some period of time, human beings live very long. So you might be, it may last like 10 of thousand, but it's only 1 or 2 generation. It's not like us. We live only now 70 years, right? So for 5,000 years for us, it's very many generation. So it's just different way of spreading the Buddha. Our Buddha is happen to be the end of the era where the human beings are so short, only 100 years. So that seems to be all the reason. And already the Buddha will live only 80% of the whole kappa. Now, for example, the next Buddha, King Sīlavanttaānisaṃsā, the lifespan of human being will be 100,000, and Mettaya will live only 80,000 years, and he will enter final parinibbana. I think you have to unmute yourself.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Thank you, Ajahn, for the Dharma sharing and the Q&A section. I think we will come to the end of this week's online Dharma section. Let's show our gratitude to Ajahn by bowing 3 times. We shall now invite Ajahn to lead us in the closing homage.
So, together. Arahani Samma Samputto Bhagava Puttang Bhagavantang Abhivademi Sawakhato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Saṅkho Saṅkhang Namami.
Let's pay respect to Ajahn and the Sangha by bowing 3 times.
I think next week we skip one because we're not here. I will be in Bangkok giving a retreat. So I think we meet again and on the 24th, right? 24th.
Yes. Thank you, Ajahn. We look forward to see you again the following week. May we dedicate the wholesome merits that we have accumulated today for the welfare and benefit of all beings. May all be well and happy. Thank you. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.